everyone, welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders. This is the PDX Picker channel. I am Chris and we're going to pull some orders today that sold for me on eBay and Poshmark. We're going to talk a little bit about a strategy that I'm officially adopting when it comes to garage sales, rummage sales, and the like. So we're going to talk about that here a little bit later. But first thing we're going to do is start the intro song. Right after that, we're going to pull a few orders and then we'll get into that topic.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster, Pez dispensers and a toaster, don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away, I'll sell on eBay.
Okay, so 12 items going out today, 11 on eBay, 1 on Poshmark. Sales have picked up for me, definitely, which is great. They were a little bit looking scary for the first few days of August, but then just had a nice uptick the past few days, so that is definitely great for sure. Let's go ahead and pull that first item. It is in box 33. It's a pair of shoes, New Balance. Took a relatively hefty offer because I don't know exactly what happened when I originally priced these, but I did a little more initial research, especially after I got that low offer. I had these originally listed for $45. And somebody offered me $27.99, which isn't horrifically low, but it's relatively low. So I accepted that offer. But before I did that, I went ahead and did a little research. I think it's good to do this from time to time. I think I just overpriced the item to begin with and kind of priced myself out of the market because they should have sold quicker than they did. But here they are. These are New Balance 481 version 3. They're a really wide shoe. I think New Balance is known for having wide shoes in general, so a lot of people like that. This is a 4E, kind of a trail running shoe. But anyway, I picked those up at Goodwill. Let's see what the price was. I actually picked these up at the Goodwill outlet, so pretty good find on that. So I only had $2.59 into it, and so once I considered the price that I paid for it with the fact that they'd been sitting in my inventory for a couple months, I took the order for $27.99. I also have cleaned up my shipping table. I don't know how many of you took much notice on it, but it was getting out of hand. So I cleaned up a lot of this area. I still have this section, which I'm not super keen about, but I have some tape and things that I just don't really know what to do with. But I put this in here, and this, I was originally going to use it for smalls inventory, kind of like this one is. I decided to use it instead for supplies, so I've got batteries up here. I kind of wrote everything what's on here. I got dry erase markers, my battery tester, screwdrivers, rubber bands, and twist ties. Just stuff that was kind of just littering the table up here. I decided to throw it up here and organize it better. And let me just tell you, I feel a lot better about it. I know a lot of us maybe struggle, well, I don't know, maybe I'm one of the few, but I struggle with clutter, letting things get out of hand. I'm not always the best organized, and it can definitely lead to some stress, extra stress added to the situation. So that was the case for me, and now I have a little bit more room on my shipping table, which will help with shipping. Of course, it'll help just stay more organized, it'll help the speed. So it's definitely a win-win. I'm really glad I did that. This next item that sold, speaking of shipping, is not necessarily going to be a fun one to ship, but it was a fun one to sell. Picked this up for $5 at a garage sale. I think it was the only thing I bought there, and I'll show it to you. It is a rather large model from AMT Ertl. Guessing it's probably from the 90s. Could be early 2000s, I'm not sure. It is this bad boy. It's this bad boy right here, the General Steam Locomotive. It's new in pack. I mean, everything is new inside. The box is not in the greatest of condition, but all the pieces, or everything's in there, sealed in the bags. I checked to make sure all of the instructions were there. So I paid $5 for that and sold that for $49.95 plus shipping. I charged $24.95 for shipping, and I'm hoping that that is going to be enough. It's going to Texas, so not too far away, but far enough that I'm a little bit worried. I don't think I'm going to lose a ton of money on the shipping, But I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know later on how that worked out. Let's pull one more order, and then we'll talk about this realization I had today when I went to a rummage sale. But this I found at this next item. I found at one of my a garage sale that I went to that I realized this is somebody who does a garage sale every year, and it turned out they had he had a couple good things this year that I bought. One of them was this. It's a vintage grind and joint electric chainsaw sharpener. I paid $5 for this. Took an offer, sold it for $25 plus shipping. Tested it out. She turns on, works well. So hopefully that works well for the new buyer. I don't know when this is from. I'm guessing from the 80s. It's $34.95 originally. So somebody's getting a pretty screaming deal on that because it works well. Oh, and this can be powered by car, truck, or portable battery, which is kind of interesting. Thankfully, I have a 12-volt battery for my, not 12 volt, yeah, 12-volt battery on my riding lawnmower, so I was able to test it out using that. All right, so I spent some time, today's Thursday, spent some time last night looking around for garage sales posted on Craigslist over the weekend. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I know that Facebook Marketplace is probably the better place to find garage sale listings, or just Facebook in general. There's a page dedicated to garage sales in my town that I follow, and I find a lot that way. But I have a terrible time finding good sales in my area, at least on Facebook Marketplace. And a lot of the ones that I find, people leave them up from weeks and weeks ago. They don't put dates in the listing, you know, when the actual sale is. So I don't know if it's new or if it's been there forever. It's not, I don't like to use Facebook Marketplace, so I tend to often use Craigslist when it comes to finding garage sales, which is also hit or miss. There's more consistency with the ones that I find on there, but I found one yesterday that the sale actually started today and ran Thursday through Sunday. It was a fundraiser rummage sale for, I don't know what the fundraiser for, that's neither here nor there. But it was it was a ways away. It was at least 45 minutes from my house. But the good news is I had an appointment that I needed to get to that was going to end around 11:15 this morning. And that was about halfway toward the sale. So I was just going to drive out to the sale, come back, check it out. There was one item in particular, well, there were about 3 or 4 items in particular that I really had my eye on. One was a large cutout, probably stood about this tall, from the 90s, I guess, of Elvira. It was like an Elvira Coors Light ad. Looked it up on eBay, sold recently for $110. They also had some, they had a smaller ghost Halloween blow mold, like it was maybe 12 inches tall. They had another cool vintage plastic pumpkin-y looking thing. So a couple of really good items that I definitely had my eye out on. Now the sale started at 10, and like I mentioned, I was busy until 11:15. So I knew I wasn't going to get there right when it started, but I was kind of hoping, keeping my fingers crossed. It's in a suburb that's kind of one of the farthest suburbs outside of town from Portland, and it would have been a little bit of a hoof for people to get there. So I was keeping my fingers crossed that I was going to be able to find at least one of those 3 items that I was interested in. Well, as it turned out, I got there right around noon. I walked right in, looked for Elvira. She was gone. I went over to the Halloween holiday section, and those 2 things that I were looking for were also gone. So everything that I had hoped to find that was shown in the photos was gone, and I know the reason why. It's because I got there so late. So that really has forced me to adapt or adopt a new strategy when it comes to sales that are advertised. In general, I find, and maybe that's a whole nother topic that I've touched on a little bit briefly in the past, but advertised sales, in my experience, in my area, they tend to be more expensive just to begin with. So that's always an issue. But I've also realized that if I'm going to an advertised sale because of a couple of items, one item in particular, and I'm not going to be able to get there right when it opens, it's probably not worth the effort to to especially go out of my way to that sale. Like I mentioned, it was about 45 minutes away. That's a long ways. A lot of gas, a lot of time, and moving forward, knowing that if I wasn't going to get there until 2 hours after it opened, I'm not going to go to a place like that anymore. So ultimately, my new strategy is, if I'm going to go to the advertised sales, I'm going to try and hit the good ones right when they open, and I'm going to make sure they're not too far away. If I'm not able to get there to open, like I said, I'm just not going to go super far to get there, because the chances are there's a bunch of people like me out there that are scouring those ads looking for the cool things that are shown in the pictures, and they're going to make sure that they get there on time because they didn't have an appointment that they needed to be at. So something that I'm going to do, maybe that's a tip that you can use when you're out there sourcing. And it was a bummer. I found a couple of things there. I found a nice pair of Olakai flip-flops for $2 that'll probably be able to sell for $25 to $30. And because I just wanted to get something else, kind of took a chance on this bag. Well, I moved it already. They were selling some Yankee Candle votives for 50 cents each. They're just the little ones. And I found some kind of harvest pumpkin-y themed ones. They weren't all the same flavor or smell, but I found 6 that were harvest themed related, kind of fall season related. So I spent $3 on them. Maybe I can sell the lot of 6 for $15. I don't know. It wasn't great, but I tried to make the best out of the sale that I could. So, all right, this next item that sold, I bought 2 brand new backpacks at this garage sale a few weeks ago, and the first one sold quite quickly for a lot. I think I spent $8. It was an LL Bean backpack, and I think I sold it for $50. I bought this one as well, thinking that it was going to be a good one. It's a Jansport. It's got a name on it, but they're called Crosstown backpacks. Crosstown Peach Neon. Also new with tags. It did have a little, I don't know if it'll come through, but there's a little bit of a smudge on there that I disclosed. So bought this one for $4. It sold for $20.90 free shipping. So in the end, that wasn't too great, but I'll still make some money off of it. The LL Bean was definitely the big winner of that sale. This next item, it took a little bit longer to sell, but it was another really good one. There's actually 2 out of this bin. I don't come across these very often. In fact, I've only seen 2 pairs of them, but they are definitely really good, and I think you should all be on the lookout for Jacob Cohen jeans. I bought these at Goodwill, and they only had them marked for $8. So this is what the tag looks like, Jacob Cohen. I have this really interesting tag on the back. It's like a J with like a faux fur, or almost like, maybe it's not faux, maybe it's cowhide on the back. But anyway, these sold for $40 plus shipping. Took a couple of months, but Jacob Cohen, I think they are, yeah, they're handmade, which I'm a little dubious when things say they're handmade. I mean, I guess that just means a factory doesn't, a robot doesn't produce them, and they're handmade in, I think that's Veneto, I believe is Venice in Italian. I don't know. Anyway, they're handmade in Italy. Pretty much most of the time, if you come across something that's handmade in Italy, that's fashion, probably going to be a good one. But Jacob Cohen, keep an eye out for that. And just so happened, the next item was also in that same bin. I picked this up for probably $5 or $6. So I picked this up at Goodwill, and that's back-to-back 2 Goodwill clothing items that I found. So they are still out there. This one was a new with tags GameStop shirt. It's kind of plain, just says GameStop on the front here. It's a double XL. This may have played into the sale a little bit, this rocket ship here. This is GameStop kind of being funny, and they were alluding to the GameStop stock issue from a couple years ago, or they made that movie. Anyway, if you guys aren't familiar, there was a big issue with GameStop stock. People were thinking that it was going to make them super rich, and it did make a lot of people very, very wealthy. And GameStop kind of played off on that because there was a Reddit subreddit where they talking about taking rocket ships to the moon because they were going to make so much money. I don't know. Anyway, that one sold for $26.90 free shipping, so it'll probably cost around $5.75 to ship it. So that'll be about $21 that I made. That the final price was on this one. I'm a little bit tired. I had to work out at the gym today, and I'm getting back into doing a heavier, harder workout. I was working out on my own for a long time. I'm just generally not somebody that pushes myself of my own free will to work really hard. And anyway, I had another session this morning, and I also was not supposed to have caffeine beforehand. And I'm dragging right now. It's the afternoon, but whew, I don't have as much energy as I would have liked to have for this video, so apologize in advance. This next sale should give me a little bit more energy because it was a really good one. I found these at my favorite thrift store maybe 2+ months ago. And they were selling a bunch of them. I think there was a total of maybe 11 of these. Here's what they are. So we got Mission brand Max Muscle Rehab No Mess Roll-On Gel. I believe this was like the on-field supplier of Major League Baseball. So they had some sort of Major League Baseball tie. I'm sorry, I can't get that to focus. There it is. Anyway, picked these up for right around probably $1 each, and I sold 4 of them to one buyer for $87.60 free shipping. All these combined will probably cost maybe $9 to ship, so that's $4 into $78 on that. I just had a feeling about this. I looked these up. They don't make this anymore, which is, I don't know, I guess somebody who was really into this brand of muscle rehab, they wanted to stock up on it. That's why they bought 4 of them, because you just can't find this anywhere, so I kind of lucked out with that. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on because I'm starting to have a tough time reading. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more items. Let's pull the next item that sold. This is the one that sold on Poshmark. And this is a Fenton glass dish. I bought this at the estate sale with a tragic background. That didn't sound good. I think I spent either $2 or $3. I'm pretty sure it was $2. And it sold for, I think, $46? Is that what it was? Yeah, sold for $46. Here it is. Oh no. I've got a chip. I don't think the chip was there. Well, I've got to look into that. I'm almost positive the chip wasn't there. Well, I'll message. No, it was there. I just didn't disclose it. I don't know if that's any better. How did I not see that chip? I noticed it right away when I listed it, or when I picked it up. Goodness gracious. Anyway, it sold for $46. Picked it up for $2. I suppose what I probably should do, and what I will do, is reach out to the buyer, let him know that there was a chip on here, and it was in the pictures, but I didn't just mention it in the description. Give him the chance to cancel the order, and that's really a bummer. This is called the Lotus and Dragon pattern. It has lotus flowers and dragons on it. So super cool, carnival glass. But, obviously, they are worth more when they aren't chipped. So, I hate when you discover stuff in real time. Not always fun for when you're filming. But, alright, this next item that sold, I don't really know why I bought this. It sold, I made a profit, but it, I think I bought it because it was cool. That's really the only reason I can think of, because it doesn't really have a ton of value. and I paid $5 for it, so I paid, you know, a decent chunk of money. Hold on, I gotta set this down. But I paid $5 for it and only sold it for $15. But I guess I always wanted one of these as a kid, and maybe that's why. So this is a Casio Pocket Television. TV 400, sold, like I said, for $14.95 plus shipping. I turned it on and it does work. I don't know if these can still be... I don't know if you can watch anything on these. I mean, they turn on and like you get the snow, you know, the static. But it also comes with this case here. Original Casio case. You can watch it in there, and I don't know how it all works. But anyway, but you know, with the TV stations not running off of normal antennas, like this just has a normal stick antenna, like for a radio. When TV is not working off that anymore, I don't even know if you can watch anything on there. But whatever. And if nothing else, it's maybe just like the person that bought it for the same reason that I bought it. It's that nostalgia, kind of cool, old school look to it. Maybe they're just going to put it on a shelf. Speaking of nostalgia, yeah, not nostalgia. This is a 90s big puffer jacket. It's from a company called First Down. It's reversible. So there's the gray, and then on the inside it's black. And picked this up for $10, $9.99 from my favorite thrift store. And even though it's 95 degrees out here today, somebody wanted to get prepared for winter and bought this for $50 plus shipping. So it's got that 90s look. It's short. So this is one thing I've noticed on vintage clothing, especially in the 90s. We didn't like long things, or they didn't like to sell long things. I think this is a size. What size is it? It is a size medium jacket. In one of the pockets it says medium, but still, like, it's just like, it's so short. You know, you lift your arms and your whole belly shows. But anyway, to me, that's almost right away how I can tell if an item is vintage from the 90s or even the 80s. Is the clothing is so short. All right, a couple more items to pull. The Max Muscle roller gel. I think that was the big money winner of the day. Let's see, we got two left, and they're just little ones, but I'm running a 50% off sale, and this actually I think fell in the this was in the 50% off sale. So I have about 80 items in my 50% off sale, and I think I've only sold one so far. It's been going for like 3 or 4 days. So I think it's just, at the end of this sale, you know, which has probably 25 days left. It's 26 days because it's a 30-day sale. At the end of the sale, I think if this stuff doesn't sell, the stuff that doesn't sell, which will probably be most of it, I am going to delist it all. And I'm going to really evaluate if any of it has any value at all, maybe lotting them up. So putting 2, 4, 8 things together. Maybe somebody would be interested in buying all of them together for $15 or something. And if that doesn't seem like a good idea, then I'm just going to donate it all, because this is stuff that's really, really old. But I bought this in a big lot of old vintage toys. It's a Hubley cement truck, but it's missing the cement truck thing on the back. Kind of surprised somebody bought it at all, but I only paid $9 for it, plus shipping. And then this last item, so I have said this a few times before, and it's just, this sold way faster than I thought it was going to sell, because I put this up, I bought this because I remember my grandparents using these in like the 80s. They're these cordless grass cutter things. I'll show you the box here and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. I went to an estate sale, bought 2 of them, each for $2. And it's this thing right here, so you grab the handle, and these are blades that will cut the grass. So if you're like next to a tree or rather than getting out a string trimmer, you could just use this handheld one. And I got this one. I got one that I was going to sell, and the other one was gonna keep. And that's turning out exactly how it's going to work. Although I was planning on keeping this one and selling a Black & Decker one. But this Sunbeam doesn't work. I turned it on, I charged it up. Well, first of all, I charged it up for over a day, turned it on. It moves a tiny little bit. It might be something that could be fixed with somebody with a little bit of mechanical know-how. Maybe some oil in there to loosen up the mechanism. But anyway, I listed this. I was going to just donate it because it didn't work. But I'm like, who knows? Maybe, first of all, there are no other Sunbeam heavy-duty cordless grass shears listed on eBay. Nothing in Terapeak. I checked WorthPoint. Nothing is ever sold on WorthPoint. WorthPoint isn't always accurate when it comes to this sort of thing, because I think it might have been low dollar enough that they decided to not keep track of it. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there because maybe somebody has one of these and they need the cord, or they need a blade or something off of it. So I listed it for $9.95 plus shipping. Somebody bought it, and they actually bought it and they went out of their way to make sure that I didn't just slap a label, not that I would have, but that I didn't slap a label just on the box and ship it that way. They wanted to make sure that I was going to put this in a box, which of course I would have, because they want to protect the box. I think they're just going to, I don't know, maybe they are a collector of old vintage gadgets. And it does have some neat, it does have kind of a neat graphic there on the back. Apparently you were able to attach a handle to it and make it with wheels on it and make it handheld, but you know, it's not that spectacular, but somebody wanted to preserve that for whatever reason, and they were more than happy. They actually offered to give me more in shipping if it wasn't going to be enough, since I had to put it in a box. But I said, no, that's okay. I charge $9.95 for shipping. Should be enough, and even if it isn't, it's okay. So it's just funny. It's funny. I'll say it again. I've said it many, many times. It's funny what people buy. It's cool funny. It's not weird funny. I just love it. I love that I threw that up there on a whim, and it sold. Still gonna make a couple of bucks off of it. So, all right, that's the end of the video. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Please like this video if you did like it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already to get more content like this in the future. Good luck with all of your reselling ventures out there. I hope you are selling tons and tons of things and getting through the third quarter slowdown without much of an effect on you at all. So thanks so much again. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.